Hey, crew, welcome back to another episode of the Skipper Report. On this episode, I sit down with good friend Trey Clauss, owner of the City Garage in Ellicottville, New York. Gives us a little bit of background about himself, and becoming the new owner of the City Garage, and the history of the City Garage, and Telemark skiing. So grab yourself a beverage, sit back, chill, and enjoy this episode of the Skippy Report. Trey,
Hey, buddy.
welcome
Hold
to the
on.
Skippy Report, man.
How's it going?
It's
Let me,
going.
uh, can you see me?
I can see you. Can you see me?
Okay, I can see you. I can hear you too.
Yeah, that's good. It would
I'm
sound
at,
like a Verizon commercial.
yeah, I'm at home, so I'm trying to be in a quiet place.
Well, you don't have any children at home today, do you?
Well, I will at about 3:10. So
Right. Yeah, so we're going to keep this short.
yeah, that's all good.
Yeah, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, man.
So,
That's great.
tell the listeners who you are and what you do.
So my name is Trey Clauss, and I own a ski shop in Ellicottville, New York called the City Garage. And I started working there in 2001, fresh out of high school.
Wow.
And I have worked there ever since.
And so I'm going to hypothesize you grew up in Ellicottville?
Moved here in about 1998 and grew up closer to Buffalo, New York. Started skiing at a small local area called Kissingbridge, and then kind of graduated down here to the bigger hills. And my parents wanted to relocate and just kind of start a new chapter. They saw that I was really passionate about skiing and just wanted to be closer, closer to the hills.
Very nice. That's nice
Yeah,
that your parents wanted to relocate and
I know.
get you
And
closer to the hills.
it didn't even dawn on me until I, kind of maybe came to fruition that, in my adult life that, wow, this is a great place to live and to have grown up or finished growing up. And yeah, I mean, two ski resorts a mile away from each other, and it's a great small, community.
And you have others not far from you because there's one in Jamestown, correct? Also?
Yes, we've got a smaller hill, like another feeder hill, Peak and Peak, which is they kind of draw from Erie, Pennsylvania, which is about 2 hours away from us. That would be kind of right on the shores of Lake Erie. And then, you get into Pennsylvania and they've got Pennsylvania has a huge ski community, but they're just really, spread out.
That's right. That's right. So no, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So how did you get into working at the City Garage as a teenager?
Oh man. So I started skiing competitively in moguls. So bumps and jumps. It was kind of right as the twin tip, I would say, was starting to be developed, and freestyle skiing and started changing. And the originator of the City Garage, Sean Lowe's, was starting this new ski shop, and he was catering to kind of my demographic. He wanted a ski shop that focused on all categories of skiing, just solely sell skis. We've never sold snowboards. Um, Hold on one second. Sorry,
No, that's
sorry.
cool.
Um, so so basically I started shopping there in 1999 when he opened. Again, we had one ski shop that had closed that was kind of catering to our crew of freestyle skiers, and then Sean, rolled right in and had mogul skis in stock and had the cool clothes and things that a 16-year-old kid that was skiing moguls wanted. So that was the whole draw.
It is the hippest ski shop that I know of.
I mean, you know, I definitely do not like to be in that world of bragging about how cool, the place that I get to go to every day is, but it definitely, there's just a certain character about, it starts with the building, and then it just starts with the people that work there, and then it starts with the community that we've, cultivated in Ellicottville and then across the world. I mean, we're definitely our logo is very recognizable, and people associate, I guess, with the garage theme
Well, it's the
that we
working man's
carry.
garage.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We try to be something for everybody,
And you know what
for
makes you
sure.
really cool is that, like, people ask me, why do I telemark? And it's like, because I'm cool.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
sell telemark equipment. So a gigantic thank you for
Yeah,
keeping that, because I was just listening. Well, no, I was just reading Jack O'Brien's recent pen in Powder Magazine and talked about the doldrums between what's happening now and what was happening, 20, 25 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? Sean kept it alive, and you're keeping it alive.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I remember the first, the first couple of months working there. We had crispy CXA 2-buckle boots. That was our demo boot fleet, and then we had, if I pronounce this correctly, Asneth. I think it was a Norwegian brand. They might have been distributed through Madsush, and we had Rodafella Chili cable, like
Yep.
spring cable bindings.
Yeah.
And that was the fleet in,
Wow.
2000.
Right.
And it's been going strong ever since.
Yeah. So thanks for your time, your effort, and
Yeah.
your money.
Putting up with all the broken bullshit.
Hey, have you been hanging around that curmudgeon? Who's that guy that works for you?
Mr. Adam X. That's salty Telemark skier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I'm of the same piece of mind as Adam. It's like, when shit breaks, fix it.
Yeah.
My daughter's
and there's a lot of moving parts in Tele, I mean, it's very, I would associate it much like, probably much like the bike business, like people are out there, they're spending a ton of money on this stuff, and then it breaks, and you just got to put it back together, and you got to keep it going, because I think that's how Tele evolves is one thing fixes another, and then you keep improving, as time goes on, right?
Yeah. It's like I sent my truck in for an oil change because I'm going to Northern Ontario to celebrate World Tele Day this weekend.
Yeah.
And my mechanic, who's an incredible guy, he says, we've only done your brakes once on the truck, and there's some problems. I can fix it and get you to a couple of thousand K down the road, or we can just fix it now. And it's like, dude, I need my truck to be reliable on this road trip.
Yeah, we're not going to be dealing with sitting on the side of the road with roasted rotors or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So So 1999, you described the setup that you had. What was, I'm going to assume that Sean's rationale for carrying Telemark skis and equipment?
Yeah, so just a quick little backlog on Sean's history. So, much like myself, and, I guess I'm kind of carbon copying his, his growing up in the ski industry. But he started working in ski shops at about 18 years old in Ellicottville. Became a traveling sales rep, right, for the Mid-Atlantic area, and sold all sorts of different brands. Went into all the ski shops from Western New York up to Albany, and down into Pennsylvania, and and saw kind of maybe the change in skiing and where things were going, and a lot of ski shops were kind of maybe going out of business at that time because skiing was getting kind of stale. So I think that's where just the concept of like, hey, I want to start a ski shop that is like, it's going to be so unique, but it's going to be so simple that people will associate with it, and they'll understand it, and they'll seek out the things that I have.
Right.
And I think it makes sense. I mean, it still makes sense to this day.
Now, I was talking to somebody, what we were talking about? We were talking about snowboarding. Oh, yeah, because of all the traveling I do and skiing. And I met these new people. They asked if I'd skied at Mad River Glen. I said yes. And they said, do they still exclude snowboards? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, that's kind of elitist. And I was like, no. So I was riding a chair, and I said, pointed over here to this snowboarder coming down. I said, is that person carving or shaving snow? And they're like, shaving snow. What about that person there? Carving or shaving snow? So I have a pet peeve with anybody who shaves snow off a hill. Yeah, especially
and
here in the
skiers
east.
alike.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I see a skier best as good as a snowboarder, scraping snow off the side of a hill. But
yeah. So why did Sean not delve into snowboarding?
I
I do know that because, like, I don't know how old the boardroom is.
Yeah,
but
no,
like they're pretty
up
much
they're up in the 30s for sure, possibly into the 40s. So I mean they kind of had themselves established right at the time.
I think that's when I asked Sean personally before. That's what he told me is like, there's a place selling boards here in town.
Yeah,
staying out of their traffic.
And they were friends, and Mike Timke, the originator of the boardroom. I mean, they were buddies. The town was a lot smaller at that time. And again, I think like we. No one snowboards at the shop. Not that we have anything against it, but it's just like we've always, seeked out skiers and we sell a lot of cross country equipment, probably more than, most stores, will sell over, the course of several years.
That I did not know.
Yeah. And I think Tele fits into that, that niche, right? It's
Nordic skiing
now.
Yeah.
It's something that people seek out.
Right. Do you know offhand what percentage of your inventory or retail space Tele takes up?
I'd probably say 20, maybe 20%.
Nice.
Give or take.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say Alpine, we're probably, Alpine's probably 70. And then we do like a little, I would say 20 and 20 for, maybe 60 and 20 for Nordic and Tele.
Right. And then you have software stuff too in your shop.
Yeah. But hard goods inventory, I mean, obviously now, with brands not having as many brands available,
right?
That kind of simplifies things, right?
Yes.
So it's like, there's our boots, there's our bindings, and go to the ski wall and pick a ski,
right. Yep.
So.
And you do have rentals?
We sure do. Yep. We've converted, I would say converted about 90% of our boot stock into new boot stock. So we've currently got the new TX Pros for men and women. And then we've, pretty much converted every ski to NTN. So we've been, I would say, slowly transitioning into the Bishop, the Bandit, and then we have a few Bishop bindings as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. So I have a question because nobody's been able to answer it for me, but I may have been asking the wrong people.
Let's see.
I had to get new bindings for my wife, and I got them from Valhalla Pure Outfitters, and I was thinking of getting the Bandit. Can the brake be taken out of the binding, or is it integral to the binding? It sure
can.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I should have bought Bandits for
we've got we've got a young Tele family, and the dad got his son, who is I think 12, and just didn't want him to fumble with the brake because it's definitely a tough break-in period.
Yeah.
And we mounted it without the brake and put a jury rigged a leash on there, and
right.
I think he's been pretty happy with it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Sean doesn't want to play around with the brake because it's you have to finesse your foot into it.
For sure. It's kind of almost more like a step down and slide in, and not like, you have to have the angle right, and you almost have to, I saw it at Telestock last week, keeping your heel a little bit more elevated.
Yep.
And not trying to flatten out the boot right away.
That's right.
Because it seems to kind of almost be like you kind of scoop it into the toe piece of the binding and then step down.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because when I put mine on, I just kind of put my foot in and scoop and pressure it, and it just,
because there's that little knot. There's that little notch right on the brake where I think that eventually will start to line up with the boot.
That's right.
Get everything lined up. Yeah.
Yeah. Now there was another question. City Garage is known for another thing that's forever and ever the last Friday of February.
Oh yeah, and we had one for the books last
Oh,
week.
did you?
We had one for the books. It was a beautiful, beautiful day.
So I'm going to say, out of the festivals that I have gone to, and I've gone to a few,
Yeah,
Telestock and the Midwest Telefest are the Telemark festivals to go to.
I love it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it.
It's totally different vibes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love both of them. I love what you guys do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Some people, it's definitely, some people get it or I mean, some people don't get it and most people do get it. They can harness we kind of call it the looseness of the whole event
exactly.
because every year there brings a new challenge and mainly the weather is is generally the biggest challenge. The past couple of years, equipment has been a little bit of you know, a, a little bit of a weak link. But we are 1000% back
Oh, right
for
on.
for demo equipment. We have never had so many booths on hand. I think the only thing that we saw was that we were managing new skiers, new teles, or trying out for the day. We were waiting for the right size of the binding,
Right.
right? So like
Yes.
now that just throws in a little bit of a curveball. So you need a large boot, you need a large binding, and that we just have to manage that a little bit better. But other than probably two people waiting maybe a half hour, we never turned anyone away this year, which was great.
You know what? This is a question. If Adam X is listening to it, you and CJ can answer this maybe. Why are there two sizes in NTN? Why can they not come up with something in between and just make
It's
it one
gotta be, and we
size?
were talking about this on the chairlift earlier today.
Okay.
We're waiting for an extra large. They need to make an extra large
Right?
because we've got. I know of three guys right at Holiday Valley that would switch to NTN in a heartbeat if they made an extra large binding.
Now, I
And
ski on a
obviously,
large binding.
Scarpa's got to make the boot,
Right.
but
These guys must
I
have
would
bigger
think that
feet than me.
I would think that it's got to be something with the flex of the binding and the flex of the boot.
Right. It's got to match up, I guess.
To have some sort of a standard size.
I'm not aware if there was a size difference in the Rotafella, like the Free Ride and the Liberty. I don't ever recall. I'll have to ask my friends who ski them still.
No, I think there is.
Oh, is there?
Because there has to be. Because
Okay.
the boot doesn't. The boot is going to have the size break.
Right.
But the binding, it only opens and closes. There's no adjustment for actual size.
Right.
Yeah, there's definitely a small out there for sure.
So while we're on the topic of telestock, I never see you ski, and I'm glad that I follow you on Instagram. So because I do know you ski, do you telemark?
I would say that I have telemarked. I can telemark. I probably choose to climb up hills with an Alpine touring boot more than I do with a Tele boot because I don't feel confident going down.
Okay.
But I would say time is the biggest. My time is the biggest deterrent.
Yeah. Well, you know what I've often thought back in the day when I was teaching and maybe regretting my choice and thinking, I'd like to open a bike shop. And I would have certain hours, I'd open from 11 or maybe noon and stay open till 8 because people are at work during the day.
For sure.
And I like riding my bike. You like going skiing. So you know what?
I love skiing.
Yeah. So you know what? You're going to spend more time on the gear you feel more confident in and doing all the stuff that you do instead of learning again.
And that's, my background again, being raised, I competed in moguls until I was, basically my parents told me that I either had to figure out how to pay for it or, get a job. And working at a ski shop, obviously you get to do all of the things that we sell. But it's just like managing the time and now having kids and I think that the next conversation will be my boys probably wanting to learn how to Tele, and we have done this in the past where we've gone out in the spring and we've messed around in the bunny hill and just mucked around and do little backwards ski days on Tele skis and just have fun with it. And I
Yeah.
think that'll probably come back to fruition, um, in the next year or two for
Nice.
sure.
How old are your boys?
10 and 7.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they both ski on the Holiday Valley freestyle ski team. So just kind of keeping it going.
Nice. Yeah, I know when
Yeah.
I closed down the Telemark Ski Ontario fleet, I took the smallest boots, the
Oh yeah,
smallest skis. I put them
yeah,
away just in case my grandchildren want to try
for
it.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
And we still have the T4 fleet on the steps going down to the basement. So I think I've got probably 6 or 7 kids out there this year on a seasonal lease program,
nice.
that are dabbling with it on the weekends and trying it out.
And probably
So
have Adam's favorite binding on there, the G3.
no, we've retired all the G3s, thankfully. We're onto the Vice Junior, which is
Oh, there you go. Right on.
a much easier binding to adjust.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know that G3 is brutal.
Yeah.
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 No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So, outside of ski season, what do you guys transition to in your retail
So
space?
yeah, we'll usually run it until the ski resorts are about ready to shut it down. So I think this year we're shooting for Easter Sunday to be probably our first day of being closed for the spring season, and then we'll be back open mid-May for the summer. We keep it pretty tight as far as soft good retail. We do some cool clothing, KUHL clothing, and do some clothes from Howler Brothers, Fly Low. So a lot of our winter brands that kind of cross contaminate into the lifestyle kind of outdoor world, we like to support. And yeah, we're open 5 days a week, and summer in Ellicottville is great. Like lots of hiking and biking and golf and just hanging out.
Right
Yeah.
on. I know it when I love the vibe in Ellicottville. It reminds me of around my cottage, the Eastern Townships.
Yeah.
Same mountain range. It's the Appalachian Mountains, and
Yeah.
but what's really cool is it's a real ski town, right? When you're right at downtown and you're looking at,
Oh, yeah,
I don't
you
know
look
what
right
that
up.
run
Oh, yeah.
is at Hollymont there, right straight up
Yeah.
above the
Yeah.
town.
Greer Hill. Yeah. That's the original ski slope of Ellicottville.
And we were just talking about some old lost ski hills in parts of Ontario where they still have the poles and the tire
Yeah,
or the
old
wheels and
stuff,
all
yeah.
that stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I told him,
Oh,
I
yeah.
said, they're in Ellicottville too. You
Oh
see
yeah,
them there.
yeah. We've got 2 now that are in, within. Well, there's one that's in Ellicottville that was called the Concord Ski Club.
Oh.
And that closed back in maybe the mid '90s, and then the state, New York State, purchased that property and roughly another 700 acres around it. So there's about 1,100 acres of wildlife that they have open for just recreational use, which is great.
Adam and CJ were talking about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So a little backcountry experience.
Yeah.
It's a good starter. It's a good starter hill for people that want to dabble, because you really can't get into too much trouble. Which, it's awesome when the snow is great. You can go back there and just kind of get lost.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and when you're closed for the spring season, are you able to get away and travel and ski or do
So
other
we've
things?
got our sights set on Utah.
Nice.
We're turning a blind eye to the snow report because it's going to be great. And I've got some family that live out there. We're going to be staying just past Park City in a little town called Midway.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we're going to take the boys out there for their first Western real
cool.
ski trip.
Yep.
And do a couple of days skiing at Deer Valley, and then we're going to go down to Moab and hike around and see what we can find down in the desert.
Are you driving out there or flying?
No, we're going to fly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. During COVID, we had an epic road trip. We drove to Santa Fe, New Mexico,
Wow.
and spent about 10 days on the outskirts of that little community. And I'll tell you, there's something about being in the Red Rock region. It's just, it's so soothing. It's so beautiful.
You know, we have Red Rock regions in Ontario,
Really?
enough that there's a town called Red Rock.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, the North
How
Shore
far? What direction?
up towards Thunder Bay.
Okay.
Yeah, so northeast of Duluth, Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a whole area of cliffs and everything that's all this red rock is so cool.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
beautiful.
you have
Yeah.
the boreal forest adorning the top of all these bluffs and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, any exciting stuff happening for next year, ski wise, or
I mean, there's a
for
lot
the
of
summer?
leaking going on. There, it seems like nothing is sacred anymore as far as holding surprises for, the years to come. I did just place our ATK order yesterday, and I have 2 pairs of the new mark bindings on that order.
Cool.
So that should be interesting. I have not seen it. We were hoping to maybe have one at Telestock last week because our 22 Designs rep, shout out to Tyler Merritt. He is also the ATK rep. So he was hoping to have one mounted up, but was not available as of yet.
Right.
So I would say in the Tele world, that is going to be, I would say definitely a new, welcome to the binding wall.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
nice. Well,
other than,
yeah, go ahead, man.
yeah, no, other than that, I mean, like, I'm just super thrilled that, that Scarpa finally, caught up to the, demand of their boot customers. Because now it's just, now it's basically just hit the repeat button every season, fill in, and we'll have them, and they have them,
That's
which is
good.
awesome.
Yeah, because there was a supply problem last year.
Oh yeah, well, the whole debacle was like they were unsure of the market because it had been so kind of flat for a while, and they didn't. I think that the big disconnect was like the retailers didn't trust the brand because the brand hadn't kind of purveyed any information towards what was happening.
Right.
And then I think a lot of the majority of the Tele stores kind of, they didn't go crazy ordering these boots because we didn't know if it was going to happen.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they started showing up midsummer, and then everybody tried to go back to the well to order more. And basically Scarpa Italy had already said, no, we're done. We're moving on. We got other stuff that we got to make. So that's all you get.
Wow. Well, that's one way to create demand.
They were gone before the season even started.
Yes. Yeah.
It was pretty wild.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm never a fan. Call me a curmudgeon. I still love the original comps, the gold colored ones with the gray. After that, it was they flipped the colors. I was like, oh man, no way. And then,
we saw a couple of black and yellow ones out there.
Oh no way, the bumblebees.
Which is pretty wild. Black and yellow, black and orange with the original.
Oh yeah,
in the back.
Yeah.
So it's fun to see the evolution. Of where they started and where they are now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
No, that's cool. Well, I want to thank you for taking a little bit of your time out of the day.
You bet. Yeah.
And sharing all the stuff with us that you're doing down at the City Garage. And, like I tell people up here in Canada, where's the closest place you can go? Because it's a Telemark desert up here. It's like the City Garage, man. Go down there, try stuff on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and we don't, it is what it is as far as the price, right? I mean, I get that. And like,
there's nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing we can do about it. So,
yeah.
I mean, I get that there's places that you can save money and get some deals on stuff, but it's like, we just want people to be like in the right gear. Obviously there's a huge window or like area that people are driving from. I mean, we get people from, West Virginia to, anywhere in Ohio.
Right.
And from what I've been told from our Scarpa rep, there's 3 stores. The third one is almost in New York, but they're in Pennsylvania. They're in the Pocono region. But there are 3 stores in basically 100 to 200 miles from each other that sell Telemark gear.
Right.
And that would be Lake Placid, Ellicottville, New York, and I believe the other town is it's near Elk Mountain in the Poconos.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, the little shop's called Idlewild.
Oh.
But it's like, I mean, there's 3 stores that are completely different regions, but people have to find it, know?
Yep.
And,
I know, because for us, I think the closest place is almost 9 hours away here in Canada.
Yeah.
We have to go beyond Quebec City to Mount St. Anne.
Right.
I know there'll be some listeners say, oh, what about this place? What about this place? So it's like, well,
Yeah.
I happened to drive by and I saw this store and I was like, oh, there's Michelle or whatever it's called. Ski Michelle.
Yeah.
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 So.
Yeah. No, it's wild. I mean, it's a very small community, but it seems like there's a new, especially from the attitude that we had at Telestock last week. I mean, there are definitely a lot of younger, skiers out there that are definitely very intrigued.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of, again, you got to grow the sport. Well, you got to cater to the younger market and, maybe, trying to figure out how to make a boot maybe a little less expensive might not be a bad idea, but
right.
It is what it is. People find people figure it out.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, you take it easy. You enjoy the rest of your season, and you need to get out there and ski. And thanks again for
you bet, Keith,
taking the time to do this.
Hopefully, we get you back to Telestock next year.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was out skiing with a friend he's on the rebound from having pancreatic cancer, and last weekend was the only time he had for us to ski.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, you got to take advantage. Yeah, you got to take advantage of that.
Yeah. So you take it easy and keep doing what you're doing. All right. Thanks again.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, there you go, crew. Another episode of the Skippy Report. Great big thank you to Trey Clauss, owner of the City Garage in Ellicottville, for sitting down with me and talking about his shop and all the Telemark stuff that they do. Like he said, it's 20% of their retail space. So if you're in the mid-Ohio area, hopefully that includes Pennsylvania and New York and that sort of stuff, as well as Ontario. If you're looking to try gear on and buy gear, hit up the City Garage in Ellicottville and tell them Skippy sent you. Anyways, check back later for another episode and update from the Skippy Report. Thanks for listening. Peace out.